Okay, students, so now since we have understood the process of endorsement and what happens with the endorsers and endorsees, the cancellation of endorsement and the related aspects, now let me tell you the provisions of this endorsement. So, endorsement is covered under the topic of negotiation, chapter 6. Negotiation, we all understand, this is Negotiable Instrument Act. Negotiation means the transferability of the negotiable instrument, and any negotiable instrument can be transferred by two methods, either by negotiation, which is this topic, or it can be by assignment. So negotiation is as per the provisions of Negotiable Instruments Act, and assignment is also a transfer of instrument, but that is as per Transfer of Property Act, which I will be discussing towards the end of this topic. So negotiation under section 14 means that a person is transferring any of the instrument to which he is the holder, and he wants to transfer to the other person so as to make that person now the holder of the instrument. So he was the holder, now he is transferring, and the effect of negotiation will be that the other person to whom you are transferring, he will be becoming the holder of that instrument. So your intention is to transfer the title of the instrument that way. And this negotiation can be of two types depending upon the type of instrument, which can either be a bearer instrument or it can be an order instrument. In case of a bearer instrument, as I have explained earlier through some examples, that the instrument which is bearer 1 can be transferred by mere delivery, just by handing over of a currency note. And but in case the instrument is order instrument, then you can transfer it only by endorsement and delivery. Endorsement and delivery means you have to put the name of the person on the back of the instrument or on any additional paper attached to that instrument, put your signatures, and then to hand over this endorsed instrument to the other person. So this delivery is very important. If you have intention to entitle any other person to become the holder or the transferee of the instrument, you sign your name also, you write his name also, but you do not hand it over to that person. It is not a complete negotiation. It need to have a delivery also, and this delivery can be, as you know, actual delivery or it can be constructive delivery. Actually you have transferred that instrument to the holder, new holder, or you have transferred it to his agent, his servant, his family member for the purpose of handing it over to him. That is also a similar delivery. But additionally, a transfer can also be, an endorsement can also be conditional delivery. The endorsement can be subject to a condition. That means you can also mention certain conditions to be fulfilled for the endorsement to be valid. So I'll be discussing about this further in the upcoming topic. So these two parts of negotiation, endorsement and delivery. Delivery we have discussed. Let us now discuss in the endorsement in detail. So endorsement, as you know already, it is done on the back of the instrument with the name of the endorsee and also with the name of, with your own signatures with which you show your intention to transfer. And in case endorsements are too many that the instrument back is totally filled, then you also can attach a separate sheet for the further endorsements. So in that case, that separate sheet is called along. So parties, you know, are endorser or endorsee. You can call it endorser or endorsee also. So who can endorse any instrument? As you have seen in my previous video through that example which I have shown, payee can also endorse. Initially the first endorser is payee, or the endorsee can also endorse. You have become the endorsee, you also can retain it or you also can endorse it further. Then the maker or of the promissory note or the drawer of the bill of exchange can also endorse it. Now the acceptor has given the accepted bill of exchange to the drawer, or the maker of promissory note has given it to the he has kept that with himself. So he also can make a valid endorsement to anybody else. Stranger cannot endorse it. An endorsement to be valid has to be having all these essentials. The endorsement should be on the endorsement. It should be made by the maker or the holder, as I explained, has to be signed. Full same and sign is not essential, initials are sufficient. and some words have to be mentioned which indicate that endorsement has been done, like endorsed to C, endorsed to D. So something has to be mentioned. Then delivery is a must. Without delivery it is not a complete negotiation or endorsement. An endorsement can be of the entire bill. It cannot be a partial endorsement, which I'll be explaining you in the types. Question normally comes, meaning of endorsement and what are various types of endorsement. So you will explain all the previous topic which I covered and then move on to the types of the endorsements. First is blank endorsement. Blank endorsement is when you do not put the name of the endorsee, you simply put the words endorsed and sign. So you do not mention to whom you are endorsing and you hand it over to any person. So any person who gets that endorsed and signed instrument, he can put any other person's name above your signatures and indicate that this person is now the endorsee. So blank endorsement is also possible. In that case, you give the right to the next recipient to put any person's name and to make that person an endorsee. And that person to whom you have given that instrument without writing his name will never appear in the process of the negotiation. So in case later on the bill becomes dishonored, you will not be able to take any action against that person because his name has never appeared on the instrument. That is why the name or endorsements mentioned are important. Second is full or special endorsement, means where you have mentioned the name of the person also to whom you are endorsing. Conversion of blank endorsement into full endorsement, this I have just explained to you. A has endorsed the instrument to B without putting his name, so it was a blank endorsement. B now has put the name of C, so by putting C's name below the signatures of A, B has converted the blank endorsement into full. That means no endorsee to a named endorsee C. Fourth is blank endorsement if it is followed by full endorsement, means A handed over to B without putting his name, but he signed endorsed to B. It was a blank endorsement. Now B got this instrument, B transferred it to C and he put the signatures endorsed to C and also writes the name of the next person. So in this case, earlier endorsement was blank endorsement and the recipient has not converted it into full endorsement, rather he has made a new endorsement which is a full endorsement, which is endorsement with the name of the person. Another type will be restrictive endorsement. Restrictive endorsement means in which you have restricted certain certain restrictions. So in case it is a restricted endorsement, the endorsee will not become the owner of the instrument as in case of the other instrument, because in that case further negotiation right is restricted. For example, if you are writing endorsed to B and you are writing also pay the amount to B only, so that means only B can receive the amount, nobody else can. Pay B for my use. Here you are indicating you have to make payment to B for my use. That means he is my agent, please give my payment to him. C is pay B or order for the account of A. You have to pay to B or his order for the benefit of A only. So in this case you have restricted that this payment has to be made to B only in 3 cases. And in third case also to the order of B. Another endorsement is partial endorsement. Bill is for 1000, you want to make payment of rupees 500 to the next person. So instead of making payment to that person, you endorse this 1000 worth of bill to that second person, but you mention pay to B or order for rupees 500. You cannot do this. You have to endorse it for rupees 1000. It cannot be a partial endorsement. So it is not the valid one. Then conditional endorsement. Conditional endorsement is that in this case you are putting certain conditions so that you can limit certain liabilities. So in this case, unlike restrictive endorsement where the further negotiability was restricted, in this case you are limiting the liability, you are excluding your liability by putting some kind of conditions. And this conditional endorsement can be of various types. One by one, it has all Latin names. Sans recourse endorsement. Sans recourse endorsement means when you, while making that endorsement, you write this word, pay, be or order sans recourse. That means the person who is writing this kind of word while endorsing, it means he is mentioning that I am endorsing it to B, or B may also endorse it further. But in case this bill gets dishonored, you cannot take recourse to me, you cannot take legal action against me, you cannot have any legal recourse to me. So by putting these words, I am excluding my liability, that in case of dishonor, all the prior parties may be sued but not me. And in case you are taking that sans recourse endorsement instrument, that means you are accepting that condition and you cannot object to it later on. Another one is contingent endorsement, where your liability is dependent on some event like pay, be or order on arrival of ship. So in this case you are putting a condition. So payment will be done, but only after that contingency happens. Sans phrase endorsement, which means where you write this word sans phrase with the endorsement done, it means the endorser does not want the endorsee to incur any expense on his account. Now you understand, sometimes the bills they get dishonored, then again the bill may be reframed and you are supposed to pay the noting and protesting charges also for noting and protesting done, which I have explained somewhere earlier in the initial lectures. So in that case, if the word sans phrase is given and you take legal action to recover your amount when the bill gets dishonored or the instrument gets dishonored, you will only be able to recover the amount of the instrument and not any such charges like noting and protesting charges, because the endorsement was done sans phrase. So this is the limiting of liability of that endorser only who endorsed it by adding these words sans phrase. So now what is going to be the effect of all these endorsements that we have discussed? First of all, it is the way of transferring the ownership to the other person. Secondly, it gives the endorsee, the recipient, a right to further negotiate also. Thirdly, the endorsements mentioned there, they tell us as to who all are involved parties in the negotiation process, and you get the right to take action against all of or any of those prior parties whose name appear. So unless those names appear, you will not be able to understand against whom you can take legal action. Like you remember in blank endorsement, the person who got that blank endorsement received, you cannot take action against that person because his name was never mentioned. So that is all about this. Cancellation of endorsement I have explained to you in the example itself, in which case the name of Janvi was cancelled. So the effect of cancellation of endorsement is all the parties who were liable to pay to Janvi, they will all get relief from their liability. Negotiation back also I have very clearly explained to you. Assignment now. Assignment is a process in which case you do not transfer the bill of exchange by putting endorsement on the back of it. Instead of that, you transfer it through any other paper. You make a kind of a contract for transfer of that instrument. So you use a separate written document to make a transfer of that instrument. So it is just like selling or transferring of any goods, but that is there in case of Sale of Goods Act. This one is not a good under Sale of Goods Act definition. So in case of assignment or transfer of negotiable instrument, by that way you have to follow the provisions of Transfer of Property Act. So in that case it is also a transfer, but the ruling law is different, and there are certain other differences also in assignment and endorsement. Endorsement is done on the instrument, assignment is on a written document, separate document. In case of endorsement, you need not inform any prior party that you have given it to me, I am endorsing it to somebody else. So you need not give this notices of transfers and further multiple transfers to any of the prior parties. Whereas in case of assignment, notice of transfer has to be given to the debtor by the transferee, that you have given me this instrument, but I am not holding it, I am giving it to somebody else. Then there are certain presumptions which we studied in the first chapter. So those presumptions are only applicable to case of negotiable instrument and endorsements, not to the case of assignment. So these are the various topics of negotiation covering endorsement, delivery and assignment. That's all.